131. People of your kind, human beings of earth, you are people who slaughter your own brothers and sisters and drive some of your own out of their houses, and one person supports another in his action shamefully through misdeeds and ignominy against the disadvantaged. 132. You shall not spill the blood of your own, not that of your spouse, nor your own children, brothers and sisters, relatives, friends, acquaintances and fellow human beings, just as you shall not spill the blood of those who are thieves and deceivers, murderers, adulterers or other criminals, or those without equitableness, inequitable ones / irresponsible ones / unfair ones, and also you shall not harm them physically or drive them out of their houses. 133. You praise and endorse the criminal activities of lawbreakers who, as judges, demand death in atonement, and those who practice torture and killing, murder, uncondemned evildoers, because you do not consider that you are acting unlawfully against the laws of the primal power creation. 134. Many know about the truth of the laws of creation, creational laws, and the need to follow them, but very many doubt them and turn to an invented god or to gods in order to pay homage to it, glorify it, pray to it and ask it for gifts, grace and benevolence, which it however cannot grant because it does not exist. 135. Therefore there is no happy reward for those amongst you who do evil, pray up to God or to gods, because they give themselves over to the guilt of abject worship of a divinity or a tin god thought up by people of your kind, human beings, from which they only harvest anxiety and fear as their ultimate reward. 136. Those who do not respect the current life and throw it away, whether through clear self-killing suicide, or carelessness, are devoid of all rationality and of knowledge, because they are destroying learning opportunities for their swelling growth / evolution of their inner world consciousness development, which they will have to work on again in a new life as a new all of themselves personality, through arduous learning. Therefore the arduousness of learning is not traduced by this, rather they destroy their own initiative for their own learning opportunity. 137. There were many proclaimers, prophets, who in truth brought the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life, and representatives followed in their footsteps who explained evident signs, proofs, of the truth of the prophets and bore witness to their truthfulness, but you did not want to listen to them, neither to the prophets nor to the representatives. So, every time that a herald of the teaching of truth comes to you, which is something you yourselves do not wish for, do you want to be arrogant and continue to insult the proclaimers, prophets, their representatives and the other heralds of the teaching of truth, calling them liars, treating them as deceivers and strike them dead? 138. Truly, your senses and your rationality and your intellect are wrapped in shrouds because you curse yourself for the sake of your unknowing, because what you really know is only very little. 139. You plead for fulfillment of what you want to have, and you plead to be victorious over those whom you wrongly deem to be your enemies, because you do not understand that you shall not appoint any others to be your enemies, and nevertheless you do not restrain yourselves from doing this. When you are granted what you wish, then you throw it away again and bring down bane on your head's mental block equals consciousness, thoughts, feelings and psyche. 140. It is bad for what you sell your honor and dignity because you reject, disregard and tread underfoot the truth of the laws and recommendations of the primal power creation, for which reason no grace will be bestowed on your heads and nothing can come to you which will make you really happy and full of gladness. Therefore you only bring down, give out, and rage upon rage and anger upon anger on yourselves in order finally to decline into blind submissiveness and to depart from life as unknowing ones without equitableness, unfair ones / inequitable ones / irresponsible ones. 141. And if you are told that you shall know everything about what had been given since time immemorial through the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life, then you do not want to know it hereafter when you are taught it, although it is the truth and everything is affirmed by reality. 142. Why do you harm and slaughter your proclaimers, your prophets, who bring you the teaching of truth, teaching of life, teaching of spirit? If you believe yourselves to be so knowing and human, and truly it has been since time immemorial only the real proclaimers, the prophets, who taught you the truth, but you preferred to listen to the false priests of your imaginary god, your tin gods, in the way that you have fallen into worship of them and have become malefactors, irresponsible ones, against the truth of fruitfulness creation, and its laws and recommendations. 143. It is bad for what people of your kind, human beings, have sold your prosperity and adversity, namely for a suppliant and abject belief in an invented and non-being divinity and in tin gods of all kinds to whom you pay homage because you do not recollect the manifest teaching of truth of the proclaimers, the prophets, who brought their teaching of spirit, the teaching of life to everyone and will continue to bring it to those who want to hear and learn it. And because these things are done, you bring down anger upon anger on your heads from yourselves and punish yourselves through lovelessness, dispeace, unfreedom, joylessness, lying, deception and inequality, disharmony. 144. When you are told that you shall be knowing in the real truth, then you lie that you are knowing and that you understand the truth, however only in order to curse the knowledge about it hereafter. Although the real truth is the actual truth that is affirmed by the laws of the primal power creation, and natural laws, from which all existence of everything existing has originated, therefore you prefer to slay the proclaimers, the prophets, of the teaching of truth rather than being honest to yourselves and to people of your kind fellow human beings, and turning yourselves to the eternal truth. 145. Many a proclaimer, prophet, came to you with manifest signs, marvels, which you however disregarded ill-naturedly and high-handedly, and therefore you committed an outrage against the truth and continue to do so today, because you have fallen into the worship of divinities and tin gods which neither possess rationality nor intellect nor the slightest fiber of might, so that they could not even make one hair on your heads turn gray. 146. Remember the teaching of the proclaimers, the prophets, and hold fast to that what they have given to you, and listen to their teaching of the real truth, so that you understand that you have to elevate yourselves to the truth and obey yourselves in this truth, so that you set yourselves free from unknowing. Do not impose any belief on yourselves and turn to knowledge of the truth in order to attain wisdom and true love. 147. The dwelling of the impalpable other world is only for the consistency of the spirit, however not for the person, because this is extinguished after dying in order to give energy and power to a new person who will be born when the spirit form once again returns in a body of people of your kind human body. Therefore do not call for death in order to find in it a release from earthly anguish, because death extinguishes the person for all time and it can never again be made living. 148. And death shall never be called upon in the hope that an existence at the side of a god or in a paradise realm of gods and tin gods might be a joyful life, because such teachings have no truth and are only the delusions of the brain of false priests, proclaimers and prophets who have misled you into senselessness because they obtained advantages, relevance and benefits from it. 149. If you are truthful, then search for the real truth and call for it for the sake of what the proclaimers, the prophets, have said to you in advance concerning knowledge regarding the teaching, so that you do not remain malefactors, irresponsible ones, towards the truth, but that you turn to it.